Now, for a more high-profile case, Judge Walter Lawford dead in his study. Yelena's already on it, and we need to get processing. No mistakes, not one. I'm joining you on this case myself. Let's get going. The judge believed in capital punishment. Looks like somebody else did too. A print on a printer. Not unusual, but still need to know whose. Pen's mightier than the sword, but not a gun. Was the judge writing something and got permanently interrupted? Notebook PC. Any data on the hard drive could be our new best friend. No sign of a struggle. No bruising. Nothing evident under his nails. Didn't scratch his attacker. Entrance wound. A game player, Arvik. Really into it. Someone's lucky number. An empty medication bottle. Not that strange, but an empty medication bottle beside the alcohol could be. Fingerprints on an empty bottle of prescription medication. Look who's the final entry. Our favorite criminal lawyer, Donnie Bronson. Let's take it. Organic substance. Flesh? Not recommended storage for a computer disk. Let's see if the lab can find anything. The first thing we do, let's kill all the lawyers. Interesting sentiment for a judge's study, since his honor was a lawyer himself.
Ah, some breathing customers. How can I help you? Team's on its way to fetch it for you. Stippling around the entry wound suggests as much. This is a through-and-through wound, no bullet recovered. It'd be helpful to have it, though. In the left, out the right, should still be at the scene. 18 hours ago, more or less.
This looks like deflection impact. Bullet should have wound up near the bookshelf. Something embedded here. Bullet travels through and through his Honor's head, strikes the wall, deflects, and hits the bookshelf, embedding itself in this volume.
What's up? Prints in the computer. Hey, don't mention it. Amplified and graphed that DNA, scanned it into the computer already. Go for it. Scan that print, and the computer's got it. Special link is waiting on the computer. Print's been scanned. It's on the computer. The organic substance is human flesh, all right. Burned. But we can still get DNA. Computer's on it. I see what you see. Last appointment in this book is Donnie Bronson. Smudged ink on this burnt paper. Consistent with any run-of-the-mill ballpoint. Nothing new to report. Hard drive on the computer was encrypted. Can't crack it without reference data from another source. Liquid painkiller looks like. Might get enough residue to run an analysis. It's in the computer. Sorry, disk's pretty tightly encrypted. Maybe with some related data to cross-reference we could get somewhere. But with a drive and a disk to cross-reference, we're good to go. Check the computer for a cryptogram link and try deciphering the disk data. Bullet's banged up, but determining caliber's still a possibility. Check against other known or collected samples in the microscope.
$9 mil. Nice match. Well, Donnie Bronson's digits, interesting. On file for contempt of court, sticking up for his client's rights, no doubt. Ron Preston's prints on the roulette wheel? Well, Donnie Bronson's digits, interesting. On file for contempt of court, sticking up for his client's rights, no doubt. So, Bronson's prints were on both the printer and the pill bottle. Louis Stanford. DNA must have been cataloged during military service. Scotch whiskey. Nice job deciphering this. Interesting message. I can think of at least a few people who would want this destroyed.
What do you need? I called his office. He's out at everybody's favorite country club, the Palm Glen. He's a ghost. But I don't mean he hunts houses. He's a writer whose specialty is helping celebs write biographies. He also operates as an agent for other authors. Brace yourself. Troy Sullivan is off on an ego trip. First he told the newspapers that the judge was murdered, then he took credit for orchestrating the crime. Unlikely as that seems, he did know about the murder somehow. A head case? Probably. But in this case, the next head we should talk to. I'll check. Well, no. Sprung a week ago. No murder weapon. DA wants to build a stronger case. I don't have a current address. You'll have to ask around. All right. We'll get Delco to conduct the interview.
You know, this is strictly voluntary on my part. Notice I haven't asked for an attorney to be present. I stand behind my achievements. I'm proud to share them with you, but only to a point. You need to do a little work. Do you have any ideas, Mr. Delco, on how I accomplished the judge's killing?
How do you even know he was dead?
You disappoint me, Mr. Delco. I expected respect. Instead, your churlish behavior demeans not only myself, but this entire unique endeavor. Henceforth, I speak only with your partner. It was Troy Sullivan in the study with a pipe. Do you really expect me to do all of your work for you? Respect and renown. What else is left for me but credit where credit is due? Fame, infamy, if you will? I'm sentenced for life, you fool. What more can you do to me? Give me life plus 99 years of lethal injection? Have at me. But the world will know that even from within a jail cell, I can strike. I'm claiming nothing but responsibility. You need to put the puzzle pieces together yourself. My job is murder. Yours is solving it.
Sharp guy like you must be popular. Had any visitors lately?
The game begins to bore me. I deserve players of equal mettle to my own, and you are both inferior specimens. I prefer the company of gray walls and my own gray matter. You'll know when I have something to tell you.
Let's look at the prison's visitor logs. Well, nobody. Not a visitor in weeks. Not even his legal counsel. And only one single phone call to that one reporter at the newspaper.
Hate to intrude on your downtime, Donnie, but we need to ask you about Judge Lawford's death.
Hey, I'm an officer of the court. Anything to help the greatest CSIs in the South. Aren't we on the same team?
Not exactly, Donnie. We collect evidence. You look for loopholes.
Ouch. But don't expect me to be adversarial, Horatio. I'm perfectly up for answering your questions. My lawyer's present, after all. And none of that fool for a client talk, guys, doesn't pertain to Donnie B. Yeah, I was over there having a look at that so-called memoir he was writing. The judge had an ego bigger than, well, mine. Oh, I let him have it all right. In words. Nothing less, nothing more. Hey, who said anything about fighting? We were two attorneys having a discussion. That's par for the course. And I don't mean Palm Glen. The old boy wanted me to sign off on this outrageous manuscript of his, for legal purposes. But he refused to show me the sections that applied to me. I told him, if there's libel against me in that book, Walter, your only defense will be the truth. I won't give you a free ride. Yeah, and breathing fire and brimstone as always. I didn't touch the old reprobate. What the hell would I have to gain by killing Walter? Not lately, but I have seen him here at times. You know who would know? Ty.
That should do it for now.
You want to ask me something about that? You want to ask me something about that? Well, you see, Walter was sitting at his desk typing, and he asked me to hand him his bottle of meds. Why wouldn't I? Hey, the old boy was busy typing. He asked me if I could turn the printer on for him. Why not? I didn't know it at first, but it was that stupid release he wanted me to sign. At 9 o'clock, I was right here at the Glen. That hack, Louis Stanford, was here. He'll confirm it. You know, I want to be cooperative, but this is really starting to drift over the line.
Spare a moment, Ty?
Hey, Miami's finest. Here for pleasure finally?
Not exactly.
Ah, should have figured you were here because of His Honor. Shame. Word gets around quick in our little Palm Glen soap opera world. Hell, not me. His Honor always paid for the drinks. Booze poured like water, and every damn drop Judge Walter Lawford paid for. Since he used his get-out-of-jail-free card, you mean? Can't say I have, but if he shows, you'll be the first to know. Or you will be, if you check back. Well, rumor has it that Heather Cole has been trying to convince the authorities at the prison it had nothing to do with the murder of the judge. I don't know how she could possibly know that, but I guess that is what you CSI guys get paid to do, right? Maybe you should talk to her, too. Lately? Nothing really.
Hey, what do you need? You've got enough now. I can make that happen. We'll get Callie to conduct the interview.
I'm told you want to help. Most murderers aren't so civic-minded.
And isn't it nice to see Miami-Dade's finest again? I try to give you Keystone Cops a little guidance, and this is the thanks I get? We have TV in here, you know. And when I see you taking credit for the judge's murder, I just had to get the word out that he's full of himself, among other things. And now you're here, aren't you? Ask away. Isn't that a little on the nose? Don't you have any pride or sporting blood? Tell you what, I have a little list for you. It consists of what might uncharitably be called demands, and I'll call them, you'll like this, bullet points. Deal with them, and I'll hand you the killer on a big old silver platter.
A stunt to get your sentence reduced. Should have known.
It's not a damn stunt. I do know who killed his honor. I know how he died and why.
No deal. Tell us what you know. We'll put in a good word for you.
Well, then, you'll just have to trust your own skills to find the killer. Meaning, you never will. I'll talk to you when the time's right.
Nothing else right now.
You should go and talk to Janice Diamond. Apparently she has confessed who the real murderer is. She thinks that she had something to do with the death of the judge and feels guilty about knowing who the culprit is. I must admit, the excitement at the club has been at an all-time high since all these cons are announcing that they know who the real killer is. I'm thinking about taking bets on which one is telling the truth.
Can I help you out in this case? You've got enough now. I can make that happen.
Ms. Diamond, thanks for your cooperation.
I agreed to talk to you. Whether or not I cooperate, that remains to be seen. I did know him, and now I know he's dead. This is a bad thing. Why? I met him through my father-in-law, and we got to know each other. Seemed like a nice old fella at first. Right. But the real skinny, I blame myself for where this wound up. I agreed not to publish my autobiography until after the old boy had departed this wicked world. Only I find out he was writing his own tell-all. Sneaky old snake.
Why agree not to publish while the judge was still breathing?
The judge was tight with my sleazoid father-in-law. He threatened to make my life miserable if I revealed Roy's dark side in print. And of course, with his connections, his honor could make my stay in jail even more unpleasant. Are you kidding? A pillar of the community, tied into every fat cat and crooked politician in town? From the high-up strings he could pull, to greasing the legal wheels to increase my sentence, even just encouraging the guards to make my stay a tough one. What couldn't the judge do to make this living hell hotter? Louis Stanford, that greedy bloodsucker, was angling to help me on my book. Give it a professional gloss, he said, and then represent it as an agent. Plus, he encouraged me to go ahead with the project, 'cause old Walter wouldn't be around forever. I didn't figure Stanford meant that he'd kill the old villain, just that, you know, the judge was old and would pass away soon enough. Haven't seen that lizard in days, and I don't care to. If he isn't home, he could be in hell as far as I care.
I had Stanford's home and office checked. No sign of him.
I believe that's your problem then, not mine. Haven't you bothered me enough?
Disappearance? Hey, I wouldn't touch that sleazeball with a pair of those latex gloves. He is one slimy character. Yeah, I spoke with him. Stanford was the judge's literary agent. I figured maybe I could talk him into a sneak peek at that manuscript. I mean, I wasn't worried or anything, but I was curious about what kind of dirt old Walter thought he had on me.
Time to scare up Stanford. Let's get Yelena's help.
Well, Well, he was always what they used to call a hail fellow well met. A smooth talker with an ornery edge, and yet you'd always feel he was interested in you. Only that last visit, he was on the cranky side, and kind of pale around the gills. Said himself he felt under the weather.
That should do it for now.
Lately? Nothing really.
What do you need? Do you believe in ghosts? You should. Stanford is haunting our house. Showed up looking to talk to the CSIs on a case. In the interview room now. Shall we?
Welcome to Miami-Dade CSI, Mr. Stanford.
Hiding? I haven't been hiding anywhere. I came here for help. I was kidnapped. And I risked my life escaping. I mean, you people have to protect me. That lousy drug dealer, Ron Preston. I mean, can't you people keep the real criminals in this town locked up? I just walked into the judge's study and saw that sleazeball Preston with his gun to the judge's head, and he shot him. It was terrible, horrible. Preston whirled and came at me, and he's a big man, you know. He just overpowered me, and the next thing I knew, he was stuffing me into the trunk of his car, and he drove me off somewhere.
That should do it for now.
You want to ask me something about that? Lately, I've been in and out of the judge's home, probably every day for 2 months. I'm his literary agent, and he was working on an incredible property, a tell-all that'll make more than a few big shots in this town feel the Miami heat. It was probably a disc of the judge's book. We've been trading discs back and forth while I rewrite and expand his drafts. I could have easily touched any number of discs in his study, and I did take a nasty gash on my forefinger and thumb the other day. In the trunk of a damn car! I told you that low-life drug pusher Preston grabbed me. I guess selling junk wasn't enough. He had to cross the line into murder. The man is a sociopath. You can't believe a word he says. He's a damn liar. I mean, the Palm Glen is a hangout of his, all right. Bronson used to come onto that slut Heather Cole out there, trying to catch her between affairs, I'd wager.
Donnie says he and Lewis were at the club, while Lewis claims he was locked in a trunk. Maybe Ty can untie this discrepancy.
Preston drove quite a while, maybe half an hour. Shortly before we stopped, I heard cheering, barking dogs, and muffled speech over a PA system. Then a bit later, motor sound, boats, and people talking and laughing. Finally, he pulled over. When he opened the trunk, I could see we were in a secluded place, lots of trees and bushes. He was going to kill me, so I jumped at him. He hadn't bound me or anything, must have thought I was a damn pushover. Anyway, I knocked him down and started running and soon found myself at the Olympic overpass. I got my bearings and came straight here. On foot.
Well, quite a story, Mr. Stanford. But then, you are a writer.
Because she's a greedy little self-serving tart? Just a guess. I mean, really, why would I harm the judge? I stood to make a fortune from our book together. I was in for 50% for co-writing and agenting. The manuscript was His Honor's own reflections on his long and distinguished career here in Miami, but with the gloves off. Consider the title, The Price of Crime, How the Court Sell Justice to the Highest Bidder. He was naming names and implicating a lot of respectable people in the justice system and law enforcement. Frankly, the judge kept that from me. He used pseudonyms in his early drafts, though I could make educated guesses. We were in the final stage, though, and yesterday the draft he was preparing was to contain all the juice and all the dirt.
Let's check. Only one, but an interesting sidebar. That's not far from the Cole homestead. Maybe a mile?
Heather Cole's address is in play? Too convenient.
Just because there happens to be a dog track near the Cole house isn't enough. There are other dog tracks in town, and kennels too. You want a warrant? I need more corroborating reasons.
Well, of course. I'm her attorney. And don't think I'm going to betray any attorney-client confidentiality just to cover my own behind. All right, now you've done it. You crossed the line. I cooperate, I do what any good officer of the court would, and try to give you the benefit of my... Damn, back off.
Well, according to a document we recovered, you've bribed and tampered with juries.
I'm not gonna dignify that insult with a response.
That should do it for now.
That's a hard one. See, a couple buds of mine were from the Florida Open Tour last night, and let's just say we spent more than our share of time on the 19th hole. Whoa, I don't even remember seeing them. Might have been here. Think they were. Maybe over at his honor's table. Kinda, sorta. Not reserved or anything. Older guy like him would roll in early and kinda claim his territory. That's where he'd always hold court. But come to think of it, his honor hadn't been around much lately. I'd say not since the iron doors closed on Heather Cole. Looking back, I think he was getting caught up in the old Heather vibe. Probably a father and daughter kind of deal, though with no blood involved. It ain't incest, right? Poor old boy was probably bummed his pretty little companion got shipped to the concrete bunker. Sure, they were way chummy. They'd mostly go through half the scotch in the joint. You know, not every female has the kind of appreciation for scotch that Heather had, or tolerance either. I was just talking to Ron Preston a short while ago. He seemed a little edgy and preoccupied. Said he was heading to the brewery.
I think we better drop by Mr. Preston's microbrewery with a warrant.
Hey, what do you need? Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
Let me get this straight. You're asking me if I've spent time with my attorney? I'm gonna have to say yes on that one, to the extent I spend time with anybody while I'm in lockup. Let me answer that with another question. Are you ready to meet my demands yet? But regardless, I will say that, in the abstract at least, I would hardly be inclined to incriminate the man who's trying to get me out of here. How should I know if Ron was at my house? Be glad to check for you, if you want to let me out of the cell I've been in day and night. I'll talk to you when the time's right.
Let's invite him back.
That's two questions, really. Yes, Ron Preston is a tool, but did I encourage him to kill the judge? I hate to encourage you people, but frankly, you're right. Though in all honesty and humility, doing such didn't tax my abilities. Ron Preston was more than eager to dispose of his honor. The underlying assumption of your question is incorrect. You imply that killing the judge was a bad thing. And if you really knew what kind of vile human Lawford was, you'd be arranging a testimonial dinner for his killers. Really? Do I have to do all your thinking for you? Think, people! I have worked as a criminal psychologist and accordingly have many acquaintances in the Miami justice system. And B, the judge, for all his malfeasance, possessed a formidable intellect, which of course drew the two of us together since he was one of the few people in this sun-bleached corpse of a city on my intellectual level. Furthermore, the judge was a most industrious man, perhaps a touch less so now. Death does tend to slow one down. The judge made a point of knowing who was doing what to whom in this town. He had a keen sense of justice, and when he thought someone was getting away with something, well, let's just say, I didn't discover the sins of Ella St. Clair on my own steam. Walter Lawford supplied the evidence that led me to take independent action. Only upon reflection, I can see my action wasn't quite so independent. So, following the judge's own Machiavellian example, I unleashed Ron on his honor. You'll know when I have something to tell you.
You got your warrant. And if you find the sporty Mr. Preston, bring him in for questioning.
Anyone remember seeing our friend Ron smoke a cigar?
Wow, you kids look serious. Listen, no hard feelings. You didn't have a case, I'm an innocent man. Take a seat, let's keep it civilized.
Oh, we'll sit and be civilized, Mr. Preston. Just not here. We're taking you in for questioning.
I think I've answered enough of your questions, Kane.
No problem. Mr. Speedle will step in. Remember him?
You want to ask me something about that? Well, why wouldn't you have? We were country club buddies. We got together now and then. Lively old boy. Talk sports mostly. Occasional round the golf. But he gave me some informal legal advice time to time. What? The old boy's dead? First I heard of it, I swear to God. Say what? You mean the ghostwriter guy? I know who he is, but I never met him, let alone... Are you high?
Funny. He claims that you know him quite well. Well enough to have abducted him, which would imply that you've also met.
Look, he can say whatever he wants. I assure you that I've never met the guy. Scout's honor. What part of I didn't do it don't you understand? I didn't do it. Maybe because I wanted to, because I was hoping to, even planning to. You see, Troy and I were in lockup together. We'd known each other before. He'd been my psychologist. You people are aware of my drug problem. I was detoxing the hard way, really at loose ends, and I was convinced the judge had manipulated me into committing murder. And I wanted the SOB dead. I shared my outrage with my supposed friend, my faithful confidant, Troy Sullivan, who helped me conceive a plan to sneak into the judge's home and carry out a death sentence. It was planned to the very day, so that I would commit the crime and Troy would confess to it, before anyone even realized the old buzzer was dead. But the judge wasn't. I was to kill Lawford on the 13th. You know, Friday the 13th, not the 12th. Where's the poetry in that? And Troy didn't start bragging and spouting off about the murder till the 13th. Check if you want. Day after the judge bought it. No, actually. I was going to tell Lawford about Troy wanting him dead, in hopes the judge would take me out of that tell-all book he was writing. And anyway, the guy was old. His clock didn't have many ticks left. Meaner to let him live in a way. Plus, I wouldn't have gone to see the judge at all if he hadn't have sent me this weird note. I was intrigued, frankly, and wanted to know what the hell he meant by it. You gotta understand, to the judge, life was one big game. And even now I had this weird feeling I'm just his damn pawn. As for the note, all it said was Black 17. Take it. It's all yours.
I didn't say we'd ever met. I said I saw him kill the judge. He's a prominent guy, and he may or may not have known who I was other than a witness to the murder he committed. That's when he stuffed me in that car trunk.
Ron Preston's our accused kidnapper. Schilling claims he heard sounds from a dog track, and Heather Cole happens to live near one. Let's share this with Yelena.
I'm trying to cooperate, but don't bother me now.
A racetrack near the home of Heather Cole who claims to know who killed the judge? You got your warrant.
Fingerprints. Think the judge would mind us taking a sample from him? Kinda gives Hit the Deck a whole new slant. Apparent skin sliver pinched here. Lab will tell. You know, I've seen better hiding places for a murder weapon.
What now? We're a full-service morgue. Go ahead.
Hey. DNA's amplified and graphed. What are you waiting for? Computer's got it. Prints in the computer. Hey, don't mention it. Hey, first footprint of the day. They often lead in some interesting direction or another. DNA scanned and waiting in the computer for you. Scan that print, and the computer's got it. Can't come up with anything else to do on that. A color, a number. Do you know what it's referring to? Puts you one up on me. Sorry, gang, but no thanks. I'm on duty.
Very funny, Valera. Now, what can you tell us about it?
Well, if this is proof of a murder, it's 90 proof. Cromartie Scotch. 30-year-old, fine, single malt Scotch whiskey. Very smooth and very expensive. 9 mil. We'll run the serial number, see if there's a rightful owner. I've also had the firearms examiner fire off a round to make a ballistics comparison. We'll let you compare it to other samples.
Strong striation similarity between these two bullet samples. Gun and bullet, same caliber, matching striations. Positive match between the bookshelf bullet and the gun under the Cole's deck. I'm not sure any of these match. Size 10, Judge's brand of loafer. Let's confirm his honor's shoe size. I'm not sure any of these match. Great. We've got a positive match here. The DNA is Stanford's. How did a piece of Stanford's skin get on the gun? The gun the Ghost Rider says Preston used to kill the judge. Louis Stanford. DNA must have been cataloged during military service. The judge's gun. Was our jurist taken down by his own gavel?
Any way I can help? Just finished taking measurements. The judge is a perfect size 10.
Can I help you out on this case? Let's invite him back.
I'm trying to cooperate, but don't bother me now. You want to ask me something about that? Well, I don't think you did. In fact, I know you didn't, because I never touched a gun in my life. Even in the military, I was stuck in communications.
Lewis, you can either lie and go down for murder, or tell the truth, and maybe write yourself a happy ending.
Go down from... You can't put me in prison. I'm 90 pounds dripping wet. I'd be ravaged. I'll be somebody's little jailhouse plaything.
You may come up with some exciting new story ideas.
Look, I didn't kill him. I really didn't. But I did shoot him. You see, when I came into the judge's study, Lawford was already slumped at his desk. When I saw the suicide note, I knew it would undermine book sales disastrously. A tell-all memoir by an unstable old coot who took his own life? Who would buy that? And then it came to me. A murdered author slain to avoid the truth from coming out, and then for the book to be published and the explosive truth to come out anyway. Well, I flew into action, tossed the suicide note into the fireplace, tried to grab the computer disk from it, but it was hot as hell, and I dropped it. Thing was mostly destroyed anyway. And I took the judge's gun from the desk drawer and shot him in the head. Is it a crime to kill a corpse?
Abuse of a corpse is illegal in Florida, Lewis, but we'll consider those charges after our investigation is complete. I think we should see if Alex can provide any insights.
Why did I assume it was a suicide? Oh, I don't know. Maybe the suicide note? After I shot the judge with his own gun and disposed of the note in the fireplace, I drove out to Heather Cole's to conceal the gun. I knew Donnie Bronson was house-sitting out there. I was never kidnapped, but I made up the Dog Track soundtrack to implicate other people. Donnie, Preston, even Heather. Anybody but me. Sales would have been devastated by the judge stopping his own clock. Look, when you write an expose accusing all sorts of folks of doing mean, evil, nasty things, you damn well better have your own head screwed on straight. Suicide is a screwball's way out. Who wants to buy a book by a lunatic? Donnie's had the hots for Heather for a long time. She has a trampy charm, I suppose. And she's been coming on to him like she's dying of thirst and he's sparkling water. I warned Donnie about getting involved with a woman in prison. He said not to worry. She wouldn't be inside much longer. I'm trying to cooperate, but don't bother me now.
Even an officer of the court like me has to draw the line at certain invasions of privacy. You'll need a more formal channel to get any more information out of this good citizen.
That should do it for now.
Lately? Nothing really.
Yes? Nothing else for you on that.
What do you need? Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
I'm trying to cooperate, but don't bother me now. Can't tell you anything about that.
What now? With a 9mm bullet based upon blood loss, we have a strong possibility the judge was dead prior to being shot. Best guess? 2 hours before. Asphyxiation, poisoning, natural causes, a long list. A chemical analysis of his blood should identify anything strange. Well, I got to know the judge much, much better while you were gone. You see, he was dying, sitting right on the edge of the abyss in last stages of terminal cancer. Enough of that stirred in his coffee, his body just shut itself down with minimal pain. The judge's records say he was on a potent cancer drug to reduce his symptoms. Look for oxycodone hydrochloride.
Hey. Check the computer. I've set up a special search link for you. No problem.
When we filter the search by oxycodone hydrochloride, we get a match. Enough concentration to kill. Donnie could have overdosed the judge with his honor's own meds. Their claims to know it all. Does that include the judge's poisoning? Let's ask her.
Hey, what do you need? Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
A girl needs a shoulder to cry on every now and then, and Walter's shoulder was one of them. And yes, I knew Walter had a lot of, well, questionable acquaintances, but I didn't know any of them. So go bother one of your other suspects and stay out of my affairs, so to speak. The judge, Walter, he was the one who told me my husband strayed. You'll have to make up your own mind on that one, 'cause you won't get it out of me. My real relationship? He's really my attorney, and you have no right to pry into confidential attorney-client conversations.
He's been your only visitor and you've reportedly been affectionate. Did Donnie tell you the judge wasn't killed with a gun?
Oh, so you finally know. You admit that I knew what I was talking about. I knew the cause of death and I know the killer. Want to make a deal? Hey, one way or another, I want a reduced prison sentence. Temp insanity, baby. A brief sojourn at the Laughing Academy and I'm back on the Miami social scene. On the other hand, you guys arrange a commuted sentence. Immunity? Now that would be sweet.
Or we could just tell Donnie you traded him in on a shiny new reduced sentence.
No way! You deal with me. I'm your best shot. And anyway, Donnie won't talk to you people. He's crazy about me. I got him wrapped around my little... Look, he loves me. He can't talk to you. He just can't.
He won't have to. You just said it all.
You'll have to make up your own mind on that one, 'cause you won't get it out of me.
Maybe it's time to ask Miss Cole why she keeps a handgun in such a strange place. That should do it for now.
You want to ask me something about that? Whoa, whoa, whoa. First of all, I don't keep a gun of any kind in my house. And second, and this is the only free clue I'm going to hand you hopeless idiots, the judge wasn't murdered with a gun. Go away and learn to be detectives. Take a course online or something.
Donnie's prints all over the study. Toxic levels of the judge's prescribed meds in his bloodstream. Louis denies being with Donnie at the country club. And now lovely Heather slips up and implicates Donnie as the murderer. Quite a bow you tied around this warrant.
You people. Just one fishing expedition after another. Of course Heather didn't help me. How could she help me do something I didn't do? What did she tell you? If she said I poisoned him, well, I've said too much. Look, you've got to understand. This is not an attorney-client situation anymore. I'm leveling with you. That crazy witch has been pulling out all the stops, throwing herself at me, promising me every kind of... Well, let's just say she hated the judge and was willing to do anything to get me to... Yes, to kill him. She thought poisoning would be the easiest, safest route. I can't say whether it's true or not. Maybe she really is insane, deluded. But Heather sincerely believes Judge Lawford played her, manipulated her into killing her husband. And the judge, retired or not, was powerful. There were strings he could still pull to keep her inside and miserable.
Judge got around. Knew Heather, Ron, Troy, Denise. How about you, Donnie?
Heather and all the rest of them. They're all my clients. They all had good reason to hate that evil spider. I don't believe anything I'm about to tell you violates my duty to my clients. But I will tell you right now that every single one of them told me about the judge's involvement in their individual actions, how he encouraged them, fed them information about whoever it was in their lives they were contemplating killing. Whether His Honor could have been legally, literally taken in for conspiracy... Well, let's just say that he was a master manipulator, and no one in this town knew the ins and outs of the law better than Judge Walter Lawford. As for me... The judge had information that would ruin my career. I could be disbarred. I went to the judge's house that evening to try to convince him not to publish his manuscript, not without removing these slurs against my clients and myself. Only they weren't slurs. They were the bitter truths. You have to believe me. Despite it all, I had nothing to do with Judge Lawford's murder.
The judge was a consummate game player, Donnie. Witness his mind games with you and your 4 clients, each of whom he steered into committing murder. But you got the honor of his endgame. Lawford asked you to hand him his meds, requested you turn on his printer. Then when you left, he burned some key effects, spiked his own drink with an overdose, leaving you framed for murder.
You may not think much of my ethics, but I'm telling you, even though it helps me, you can't search the homes of my clients without going through proper legal channels. Nothing else right now.
Let's invite him back.
Well, the judge knew I was playing Donnie. And His Honor made a real point of me not mentioning to Donnie that he, that is the judge and me, that we were tight, although I told Donnie anyway. Now looking back, I can see how maybe the old boy was playing me. I'll talk to you when the time's right.
Hey, the judge was the chair of our membership committee. He knew everybody. Matter of fact, the judge got Ron a complimentary 1-year membership. Ron was just one of many. Palm Glen's a relatively new club, and the judge gave out complimentary memberships to all kinds of people. Come to think of it, that's a list including Heather Cole, Denise Diamond, all of them in jail now. Hell of a deal. Lately? Nothing really.
Can I help you out in this case?
Just the way we left it. We processed this place. No way we could miss a mucus-smeared tissue. Somebody is playing games. Hard liquor. Scotch?
Yes? Print's been scanned. It's on the computer. DNA's amplified and graphed. What are you waiting for? Computer's got it. Cromartie Scotch. 30-year-old fine single malt Scotch whiskey.
Don't quite have a match there. Check the details when doing the comparison. Only when you're sure should you ask for confirmation. I'm not sure any of these match. Great. We've got a positive match here. I'm not sure any of these match. About time for some straight answers from Troy Sullivan and Denise Diamond.
Hey, what do you need? Yeah, let's have another chat with him.
I don't see how. All he did was talk about old cases and various unsolved crimes. Actually, I got any number of ideas from those discussions. Old Coot was a fascinating fount of nasty knowledge. But the ideas I got, well, they were my own, of course. He had no idea he was influencing me. Funny you should ask that. I mean, I just got the oddest piece of nonsensical mail today. Knock yourself out.
Let's invite him back.
The 13th. I can even tell you the exact time. 6:30 p.m. What other facts have eluded you?
Actually, that fact eluded you. Date and time are both wrong. Not that Ron Preston isn't still a suspect.
I resent that implication. The judge may have had his own motivation for encouraging my actions, and I admit he provided me with a motive to kill. After which I did kill. But I'm not some child who can be tricked into performing. I made the decision to murder. Don't give that old fool the credit. I've received hundreds of letters from my supporters, but yes, one didn't have proper markings, return address, and so on. Had just some stupid 3-word note in it. Meaningless. Take it. I'm only saving the ones that appeal to me. The marriage proposals from women under 30, for example.
That should do it for now.
What's up? Nothing new to report. Nothing else for you on that.
Okay. Our judge was a game player. Logical, organized, attuned to the sequence of events. Let's consider the puzzle in that light. Hear that? That click? Let's take a look. Secret compartment. Torn paper. Photo or drawing, maybe. Blood and DNA. Always helpful. Have we seen this cleat before? Take it in for analysis.
Yes? Amplified and graphed that DNA, scanned it into the computer already. Go for it. Torn up photo? Sounds like a job for the assembly table. It's all yours. Can't come up with anything else to do on that.
My tongue will tell the anger of mine heart, or else my heart, concealing it, will break. Cryptic words from the Taming of the Shrew, but what if we take them literally?
Nothing else for you on that.
Finally, we found the murder weapon from the fake nightclub killing. Normally, we respect personal property, but evidence collection can be like making an omelet. Eggs must be broken, or in this case, just pried open. I have a feeling the judge wants to talk to us.
What's up? A videotape. I'm pretty sure I can process that for you. A very tricky procedure. Everyone ready for this?
If you're watching this video, you have won the game, and I applaud. So rarely have I been matched by worthy opposition. Oh, of course, a casino can beat you. The odds are always with the house. But a truly challenging game. Nothing is more satisfying. And this game, oh, this game, it's more than just satisfying. It's meaningful. Over the years, I have witnessed the justice system grow soft. Criminals pampered, victims at the mercy of shysters like Donnie Bronson. Bronson represents to me everything that is wrong with our legal system. A smooth, high-paid mouthpiece whose glibness can free even the most blatantly guilty client. In recent years, I watched as a number of obvious murderers slipped through the system here in Miami. When I learned from doctors of my own personal death sentence, I decided to spend my final months dealing out justice where our courts had not. I invited 4 of Bronson's clients to become members of the Palm Glen Club, where I could befriend them and give them an opportunity either to prove their innocence by resisting my subtle suggestions, my maneuvering them toward murder as a solution to their current problems, or to resist the devil's whispers. None of them resisted. And I made certain their victims were themselves criminal or in some way evil sinners. And of course, now Bronson's 4 clients face punishment. Well deserved. Though, I fear, if you played my game and won, Donnie Bronson will not join them. Although when my book is eventually published, as it will be, when in several months a duplicate of the computer disk turns up at my publisher, Donnie B. will be disgraced and likely disbarred. And now, I must carry out one last sentence on myself. For I too am, in my modest way, a criminal mastermind. And as Horatio Kane has no doubt reminded you, I've always believed in capital punishment. Cheers.
Takes a top CSI to match wits with the likes of Judge Lawford, and you did. As the judge said himself, you've won. Congratulations.